Welcome, seekers. You have made it to the Tarot Magicians channel. My name is Ricky, and today I bring you another pick a card tarot reading. Now, the title of this pick a card is A Message from Your Future Self. So your future self has a message for you, and this message is, it could be about love, it can be about finances, just any area. We're just going to let the cards talk and guide us through the message. Now, one thing before we get started, I do want to remind you that I am offering private readings at this time. So if you're interested in a private reading, you will have to go through my Etsy store. The link is going to be in the description below. Also, I am extending the winter special so that you can benefit from the 60% discount off of those private readings. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. In front of you, seekers, you have 3 doors to choose from. Choose carefully. Here we have door number 1. And here we have door number 2. And here we have door number 3. All right, so by the way, if you guys hear those birds, I have the windows open, so just know that it's that. So go ahead and take a moment, make your selections. If you're drawn to more than one door, that's okay. Make sure to visit the group that you were drawn to first. Take a moment, make your selections, and I will see you there. I'm going to include the timestamps in the description below as well. Welcome, group number 1, to today's pick a card tarot reading titled A Message from Your Future Self. Now, before we get started, just want to remind you that I am offering private readings at this time. I'm extending the 60% off special for winter. If you're interested, I'm going to include the link in the description below to my Etsy store so that you can place your orders through there. So let's go ahead and get started. You picked a beautiful, beautiful door. Beautiful. So let's see what's behind this door, shall we? Sunset. Time here turns to release and unfurl. Old cords of pain fade as the sun's light burns. Wow. Okay. All right. That's beautiful. And the second oracle card is from the Moonology manifestation deck. And the message is, think it through. New moon in Gemini. Think it through. My goodness. Okay. So let's go ahead and sit with these cards for a bit. And then we are going to throw more oracles, and then we're going to throw some tarot to get a deeper message and understanding. So group number 1. Immediately the message is you've been through some kind of pain. There's definitely something that's happened to you in the past, and it seems like it has not healed. And you're making decisions based on what happened, and unfortunately it's kind of molding you into a person that you are not, forcing you to do things that you don't want. And maybe for some of you, you're doing these things, you're making these decisions subconsciously. And so it's important for you to, number 2, the second message, to think this through. Now we're going to gain a little more insight into what this is. And but just know that it is grounded in pain from the past. And the good news so far is that old cords of pain fade away like the sun's light burns, right? So it's almost like the message is moving on from that pain that occurred. So interesting theme, interesting 2 oracle cards. We're going to keep this going. We're going to start with the Unshakable Inner Peace oracle cards. Let's go ahead and throw one. Let's see what other direct messages we get. You are the joy seeker. Wow. Okay, I like this card. What little victories can you celebrate? So it almost feels like your future self is maybe challenging you a little bit, right? Asking you a question, preparing you for the message that is unfurling in front of us. What little victories can you celebrate is the question that your future self is asking you, right? You are the joy seeker. It's a reminder of who you are from yourself. Wow. All right. Okay. So let's go ahead and throw another oracle card. This is from the self-care wisdom cards. So we're going to go ahead and shuffle, and we're just going to throw one card, and then we're going to move on to tarot. See what the tarot reveals to us. All right. So your card is risk. You have 2 dices there. And this card reads, take a chance. Every risk is a success when you're committed to learning and growth. Wow. Interesting. Take a chance. All right. Powerful, powerful message of transformation. Now we are going to move on to the tarot. And for this, we're going to use the Tarot Apocalypsis deck. Obviously, I have the link to all of these decks below, but this is the Tarot Apocalypsis deck from Kim Huggins, my favorite deck in the world. This is actually the first deck that I ever owned, so we're going to use it for this reading. So what we're doing here now, we're trying to figure out what is the issue. Obviously, we know that there's pain, that there's something that needs to die in order for something new to take its place. And so that's kind of what I'm feeling here, what I'm picking up here. There's a reminder of joy, right? You are the joy seeker. And a question, what little victories can you celebrate? And then the final oracle message is take a chance. Every risk is a success when you're committed to learning and growth. So interesting messages from the oracles. Now we're going to move on to tarot. So tell us, what is the situation here, future self? What's going on here? Okay. Well, it seems like there's a desire on your part, okay, to do something, to be victorious in something. So these 2 tarot cards speak of forward-moving momentum, victory, and other things. So we'll start with the 8 of Wands. Here we have a warrior that has set out to achieve something truly great. He's heralding war against an oppressor, against an enemy, and there's this energy of just victory, success. This person is not going to stop. There's a sense of relentlessness, right? So, you know, this card, we can kind of say it's geared towards people that are striving to obtain something in life, whether it be career, you know, financial, inspirational. This is the card of will, right? This person woke up in the morning and said, I am going to throw my arrows into the sky today, and I am going to be victorious, right? Whatever this battle is that you're fighting, there's a sense of, I'm going to fight this battle. I'm not going to run away from it. And then we have a further understanding of what that battle is and what that entails with the Queen of Pentacles, right? So here we have the complete representation of the divine feminine, right? And, you know, we have here a queen that is bathed in glory and beauty. She has in one of her hands gold. So she is a spring of value. She is able to bring about true success. She knows where true value and true ability is found in our world, and that's where she kind of dwells in. Now, it almost feels like there's a fear of maybe missing out on this, or potentially there's a need for guidance. What do I do in order to have this, right? So for those of you that are thinking, all right, I definitely want what this Queen of Pentacles has to offer. You know, just looking at this card, there's so much symbolism, right? She's holding these, she's holding the flowers, the lotus flowers, which the lotus flowers for me are one of the most beautiful because they bloom in such terrible conditions, right, in a swamp. But they are one of the most beautiful flowers in the world. So, you know, it's almost like there's this sense of going through that struggle, going through that pain in order to reach this, but having trouble potentially doing that. So, okay, so now that we know what the situation is, let's go ahead and see what the advice is from your future self in order to reach the level of this Queen of Pentacles, and in order to have the will, the courage, and the dynamism to face challenges of tomorrow like we see in the 8 of Wands. So what is missing? What needs to be said? Future self, talk to us. Wow. Okay. Wow, wow, wow. So now there's multiple messages here for people. So we start with the energy of the Three of Cups reversed, and then we move on to the Four of Cups upright. So let's look at each card one by one and just try and gain an understanding and some clarity on it. So the Three of Cups, it's one of my favorite cards because it talks about fun, enjoyment, contentment, right? You have here three people that are just so much, they're so excited to be in each other's presence that they're throwing a party. Right? They've got the cups in the air, they're drinking, they're having fun, they're dancing, they're listening to music. And so that is what this card is trying to remind you of. It's trying to remind you of fun again. You have to try and pursue the things that bring you excitement and fun. So, it's the fact that it's reversed tells me that there's been a lack of that, right? It almost feels like your pursuits are all maybe too physical. Maybe you want a certain lifestyle. And so you think that in order to obtain that certain lifestyle, you have to do things a certain way. And so what your future self is trying to challenge you with is you have to pursue what makes you feel complete and makes you feel like you're having fun. If the fun element is not a part of your life in everything that you do, then ultimately it's going to result in you potentially getting bored of that thing and moving on. And so we see that with the Four of Cups, right? We have here a representation of, and I forget the name of the goddess that's being represented here. I'm sorry, but she is essentially throwing this hex down this well. Right? This is in Rome, and so she is bored and tired of her current life. She needs a change. She needs it, and she's willing to do whatever it takes to the point that where she's essentially partaking in, this ritual, right? This hex that she's placing, and it almost feels like she's trying to create something because she feels bored. She wants something to happen and occur quickly, and unfortunately, it's not happening. And the reason why is because there's a thought process that might need to be recalibrated, or maybe just something that needs to be introduced in that thought process. And I feel that it is fun. It is you pursuing something that just inspires you and motivates you to move forward. So we go back to the Eight of Wands. We know that one of your biggest problems is willpower. It's the will to go out and obtain what you want, right? And reaching the Queen of Pentacles. Now, the fact that it's showing as a problem tells me that the reason why you're not motivated to do whatever it is that you're doing is because you're bored. You're simply just bored of this existence. You're bored of this reality that you're living in. And so your future self is telling you that it's time to shake it up. It's time to maybe get creative. And you'll know, because if you are having fun, then that's where you need to be. And so perhaps once you realize this is what brings me true joy and contentment, then you can analyze, how can I monetize this? How can I live my life feeling this joy, having this, right? And so once you can think clearly, and once you can kind of just channel this Queen of Pentacles, you'll be able to fully understand what you can do to bring the value that you want, and also leave you feeling emotionally happy and joyous with the decisions that you are making in your life. And we have this reminder, right? We got the reminder from the oracles. You are the joy seeker. What little victories can you celebrate? So this is a reminder of who you are. It's a reminder of how far you've come, and it's a reminder of where you're going to be and where you're going to end up, right? So you are the joy seeker. It's funny that we have the Three of Cups right next to it, because the Three of Cups is literally the card of joy, right? So we've got joy here, and then the fact that the Three of Cups is reversed tells me that there's maybe potentially a lack of joy that you're not giving yourself fully into, which isn't allowing for you to tap into this Eight of Wands, which is forward moving momentum, the will to just keep on fighting until you obtain what you want. And so, it almost feels like a lot of you are pursuing something, some kind of financial goal, monetary in nature, maybe even health, right? Queen of Pentacles can be talking about health, body, but there's definitely a goal that you're chasing, an ideal. And it's time to maybe think of how you can do it a little differently, because you're burning yourself out in the pursuit of this. And the reason why is because you're just completely bored of this, maybe job, career, opportunity, investment, or just, decision that you've made. So it's important to weigh what exactly is going to bring you this joy. All right, so let's move on to more oracles. We're going to throw 2 oracle cards, and we're going to see if we can get more direct messages. So let's see, from your future self, what else? What can aid group number 1? We've got the manifester showing up here. Okay, so the manifester is here to tell you monitoring your inner dialogue and using quantum affirmations daily can help you to make real your desired life changes. Wow, I like that. All right, so that's a bit of advice from your future self of how you can reach this place. And then the final message comes to you from the Traveler. Okay, so the Traveler has a final message for you. And that message is, let travel, education, and communication systems take you and your ideas to the world, and or use the same to bring the world to you. Wow. I love that. Group number 1, the message just became a bit clearer, okay? The message just became a bit clearer for you here, because when I read this card, immediately, I saw someone who's using the technologies of our time to reach other people, to share their message. So for those of you that have a desire to maybe start some kind of business, or maybe just, if you have a passion, whatever that passion is, it can be as simple as sewing, it can be as simple as, reading tarot, for example. Anything that you have, that you're passionate about, you're being asked by the Traveler and by your future self to pursue that. Give some time and attention to that, because it's going to offer you the 2 things that you need the most. It's going to offer you the will and the desire to move forward and be victorious in this pursuit, and that's going to burn bright. And then also it'll give you the Queen of Pentacles, which is the energy that you want in your life, right? It's the energy of riches. It's the energy of success. The Queen of Pentacles is, here being represented by a very powerful deity. I believe it's Shiva. And so there's a sense of true mastery and a sense of true knowing. And so this will come to you. But there are things that need to change potentially. And I think it's just geared towards your job and the decisions that you've made that are potentially taking you away from feeling joyous and from having that joy-seeking, adventurous energy and spirit, to more of a mundane, kind of boring type of energy, which is really, you may think that you can continue doing this, but at some point you might burn out. And then also at some point you might look back and say, what was it all, why this? Like, maybe I could be doing something else. And I think that your future self is just trying to make you aware that you have other talents inside of you. You have other gifts that potentially you have not been using, or you just simply took the better deal that was on the table. All right, so maybe it's time to explore other areas that are going to give you that same energy that you want with the Queen of Pentacles and what you've been missing with the Eight of Wands. So that is what I see here, group number 1. I hope you enjoyed this reading. Thank you so much for watching. Quick reminder, I am offering private readings at this time. So if you're interested, you will have to go through my Etsy store. I'm going to include the link in the description below. And if you have any questions or any concerns, please reach out. You can reach out directly through Etsy or through the YouTube channel. I've been receiving many more messages than I'm normally, able to answer and respond to. So if I'm a bit slow to respond, I'm sorry. But thank you for leaving those messages, and I wish you all a wonderful, wonderful 2022. Bye-bye. Welcome, group number 2, to today's Pick a Card Tarot reading. Now, in today's Pick a Card, the title is a message from your future self. Okay, so, advice, guidance, information from your future self to you. Now, before we get started, I just want to remind you, seekers, that I am offering private readings at this time. If you are interested in a private reading, you will have to go through my Etsy store. The link is going to be in the description below. If you go through my Etsy store, once you place the order, you'll be able to send whatever questions you want, whatever questions you have, and I go into detail. I'm also extending the winter special, so thank you for that. Now, let's go ahead and get started. You picked a pretty cool door. Very auspicious looking door, right? So let's go ahead and take a look and see what's behind this door. Morning memory. Its healing gift runs a destined course. The morning dawn, our inspired source. Oof. Meditate under the sun is the advice from this card. Okay. Now, the second oracle card and message is going to be from the Moonology Manifestation deck. And the message is, let your fears dissolve. Full moon in Cancer. I love this. Yes, let your fears dissolve. Full moon in Cancer. So, it's interesting, the very first card, morning memory, its healing gift runs a destined course, the morning dawn, our inspired source, right? So there's a sense of inspiration, there's a new dawn, there's a new beginning for you. Something new is coming. Now, there's a fear of something that unfortunately is maybe potentially keeping you in some kind of maybe holding pattern or some kind of, stasis state where you can't move forward or not taking action. You're just kind of paralyzed. So your fears must dissolve in order for you to manifest what you want. That is the very first message that I am seeing. That's just 2 oracle cards. We're going to keep it going. So we're going to throw another oracle card. Unshakable Inner Peace Oracle is the title of these cards. We're just going to go ahead and throw one, and let's see what message your future self has. Okay. Forgiveness. All right. Very beautiful message here. Forgiveness will set you free. What do you need to forgive yourself for? Wow. So there's a challenge here. Okay. There's a challenge from your future self to you. There's a question that's being asked. What do you need to forgive yourself for? It's important for you to really think of this, right? We all have it. We feel guilty for saying something. We feel guilty for acting a certain way. And so it's important for you to forgive yourself. It's what your future self is trying to tell you here. So forgiveness will set you free. My goodness. That forgiveness is tied to this fear somehow for a lot of you. So that's definitely something to think about. Why are you so fearful? Why are you not moving forward as effectively as you normally would? What is this fear, right? And why is it that forgiveness will set you free? So these are things that you can ask yourself, right? Obviously, this is a pick a card reading, so take what resonates, leave the rest. But Think very clearly. Let your fears dissolve. What do you need to forgive yourself for? Forgiveness will set you free. There is healing that is available to you at this moment in time. And one of the ways that you can tap into that healing is to meditate under the sun. For those of you that potentially just find exercises like that helpful. And I'm saying that because not only is it written on the morning memory card, but we have a bit of a representation of that with this card. So interesting. Let's go ahead and throw one more oracle. We're going to throw from the Self-Care Wisdom cards by Cheryl Rod Richardson. Let's see. All right, so here is your card. And the message is move, move. All right, so a long walk is good for the soul. Get outside and allow Mother Nature to lift your spirits. Wow. All right, so it looks like this meditation under the sun is not just a suggestion. You are being asked by your future self to get out, right? I think that whoever's watching this, whoever picked this group, maybe you've been indoors too much. Potentially it's gotten to the point where you're not interacting with the outside world, you're not interacting with Mother Earth, and so these are things that you need in order to be able to have this sense of of fear and anxiety quelled. And it's important for you to step out into the world and receive that healing energy that Mother Earth has to give. So, interesting card. A long walk is good for the soul. Get outside and allow Mother Nature to lift your spirits. All right. So, now we're going to throw tarot. And we're going to use the Tarot Apocalypsis by Kim Huggins. This is my very first, you can see it's all yellow. This is my very first tarot deck that I ever owned. I learned tarot with this deck, and I got to tell you guys, Kim Huggins did a fantastic job with this deck and the writing and the guidebook, just everything. Beautiful. So we're going to use this deck that I feel very connected to and try and gain a message for you. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to see what is the situation at hand that needs to be addressed. All right. So it seems like the situation is financial in nature. Okay. We have the Ace of Pentacles reversed. Now, this message is twofold. Obviously, this is a general reading. Take what resonates, leave the rest. But for some of you, the fact that you've got the Ace of Pentacles reversed tells me that you're spending your money incorrectly, or potentially you're squandering it. You're just unfortunately not being very smart with money. And I think that your future self wants for you to really take into account, where the money's going, potentially budget correctly or accordingly, because where you are going and what you are going to manifest in this world is going to require for some kind of financial aid from your part, I feel. Now, that is for some of you. For others, the fact that we've got this Ace of Pentacles tells me that there is a project. There is some kind of creation. There is a new idea that's going to generate income for you. All right? But in order for this income generator to come, in order for this, what seems to be maybe a passive income or just something that's going to aid you financially, you need to be able to move into this fear. Step into this fear. Whatever this fear is, whatever causes you to say, I'm not doing it, because you have to overcome it. So, fear of failure, even fear of victory, right? So examine these fears. Maybe there's a decision that you are being asked to make. It has to do maybe with career, job opportunities. Do I stay? Do I go? The funny thing is that we did get the keyword move. So for some of you, I think that you are being potentially asked to, change jobs or maybe look for something that's more rewarding financially, maybe gives you a higher pay increase, right? There's a lot of opportunities now and companies are paying more. So maybe potentially there's that. For some, maybe you're upset because there's investments that are not paying off right now because of the situation of the market. And so there's a sense of being kind of, almost disheartened and upset. And we see here with the Eight of Cups a representation of someone who is shedding the old skin to make space for what is new, right? So this woman, she has made a decision. She knows that in order to move forward, she needs to be able to put to rest all of this darkness that has been plaguing her. And so she's stepping into this lake that's going to, in essence, wash away that darkness and that fear and that anxiety and that torment. It's going to wash it away. It's going to replenish her so that she can move forward victoriously and without fear. So, there's definitely something to be said there. I think on a more, a practical do now. I feel like maybe when the next time that you take maybe a bath or you're just essentially there underwater, maybe you're going to a body of water, you are being asked to step outside. So maybe, go to a river, go to near an ocean and just get in, right? And just allow for that body just to cleanse you and see it happen too. Visualize that cleansing taking place. So that's just one thing that I saw. So potentially that might be beneficial for some of you. But I feel like mostly what we're seeing here is an acceptance. Emotionally accepting a situation for what it is and then stepping away from it, seeing further ahead and understanding that whatever pain, whatever torment, it's not come to stay, it's come to pass. So there's a realization of that takes place in the Eight of Cups, and it's important for you to do this in order to correct what we're seeing here with the Ace of Pentacles, I feel. Now, well, one thing that I forgot to mention, these two cards are essentially, we're trying to discover what the situation is, right? What needs attention? What areas of life are we focusing on? What's being blocked at this moment in time? And I feel that maybe the fact that the Eight of Cups is showing up is that a lot of you are unwilling to take that journey, that self-reflection or examination, right? Because it's too fearful. You don't want to. You avoid it, right? Like for people that have this fear, overwhelming fear of death, they avoid it. They don't want to talk about it. They don't want to hear anything about it. They don't want to even just, go to any kind of support group or anything because it's scary. So they don't step into it. And it almost feels like whatever you're going to create, whatever you're going to master, whatever you're going to bring into this world, it is going to require for you to potentially master this fear so that then you can talk about it. Then you can help other people overcome that fear, right? So very important for you to address whatever this is, whatever this shedding is. You're avoiding it. There's avoidance going on right now with the Eight of Cups. And that avoidance, unfortunately, might be creating this lack of money. And it doesn't really have to, the Ace of Pentacles doesn't really have to represent money. It can be ideas that will generate good income. It can also be talking about the physical body, right? It can be talking about your health. But, Ace of Pentacles normally, it is career, it is money, it is financial in nature. So, interesting. Let's go ahead and see what else, right? How can we step into this unknown and be victorious? So let's throw 2 more tarot cards and try and gain some understanding from your future self. Wow. So we've got 2 court cards, and both court cards are pretty interesting. So we start with the Prince of Swords. This Prince of Swords came out reversed. So for some of you, I feel that there is a young male energy, kind of potentially giving you some bad advice. Maybe you view this person as some kind of leader, or you view this person as some kind of authority for some reason, but unfortunately this person is just giving you bad advice. This person might be, unfortunately, not going anywhere substantial or beneficial to you, and you're kind of following them. So make sure that you take into account the people that you have around you giving you advice and trying to aid you, because their advice might not be the best, right? So that's what the Prince of Swords reversed is, I think, kind of revealing to us. Also, it can be talking about you yourself, internal dialogue, right? So what is your internal dialogue like? The fact that it's reversed tells me that potentially, you could be telling yourself that you can't do it, you can't make it, it's too much, it's too overwhelming, I'm not really gonna step into it or do anything. I'm just gonna kind of see what happens, right? And it's all because of fear, right? It's avoidance. That's what we see here with the Eight of Cups. It's an avoidance of whatever this fear is. And so that voice is very prevalent in you. And it feels like you have to almost, ignore it, right? Put it aside because it's not helping. Now, with the Queen of Cups, we see here a representation of potentially who you are, a reminder of who you are, and also a reminder of what is expected of you right now. So the Queen of Cups is someone who is filled with love and care, and number one, she loves herself, right? She loves herself, and she loves everyone around her. And there's this sense of true beauty with this person. Now, the fact that we have her showing up as a card of help and advice and solutions, I feel that maybe there is someone around you that is trying to help you. This person may be someone that just is in love with the world, right? That, that kind of energy that of a person when they're just in love with the world, and they just speak so beautifully and positively of everything and everyone, and there's so much love and joy and care in their demeanor. And so, if there's anyone around you like that, then it's important for you to listen to them. All right, so pretty interesting, but it's like a battle here, right? One versus the other. The Prince of Swords reversed versus the Queen of Cups reversed. Who are you listening to, right? So take into account this. Maybe potentially there's someone that is trying to help you and aid you, and trying to really inspire you, and help you see and identify something that you potentially are not. Potentially, it could be this person, right? This Queen of Cups could have told you, hey, this person is bad news. So be very careful, and maybe you are going against this, and teaming up with the Prince of Swords, when in reality you should have listened to the Queen of Cups. So for some of you, that's the interpretation. For others, these cards are a representation of self. I feel like the Queen of Cups, we can look at her and say, okay, she is the ultimate representation of healing. She's the representation of love, true love. Not the kind of love that aims to use, but the kind of love that says, I'm here for you, and anything that happens, I am going to assist, I'm going to help, I'm going to love you no matter what. Right? So unconditional kind of love. And maybe potentially, the fact that we've got this Ace of Pentacles, and we have this Eight of Cups here, showing us the desire to kind of remain, clothed, and the desire to remain in a shell and not step out. So maybe potentially with the Queen of Cups, you can tap into the lover energy of the Queen of Cups, because the Queen of Cups is in love with experiences. The Queen of Cups is in love with the world, right? It's not just people. And so potentially some of you have become maybe cynical. Maybe you've become a bit lackluster about people, or just the world, or the outside world. And it's time for you to start falling in love with the world again. It's time for you to start falling in love with all of these other experiences, no matter how small they may be. So, interesting. Queen of Cups. Let's go ahead and throw two more oracle cards and see what these oracle cards reveal to us. Wow, you've got the Manifestor. Group number 1 also got the Manifestor. So the message from the Manifestor to you is monitoring your inner dialogue and using quantum affirmations daily can help you to make real your desired life changes. Wow. So it's interesting that we got this card, and I'm putting it right under the Prince of Swords, right? Because that is one of the interpretations of that Prince of Swords reversed. The internal dialogue. What's going on? How positive? How negative is it? The Manifestor is asking you for you to be as positive as you can be with that internal dialogue, and to practice positive affirmations to change that mindset. All right, so let's see. Let's go ahead and throw another card. We've got the Escapist. All right, so the Escapist reads, you or someone you care about may seek refuge in escapist behaviors when faced with limits, difficulties, or sorrow of some sort. Wow. So, hilarious, right? Because it's right next to the Eight of Cups. And we already know that the Eight of Cups is one of those things that your future self is trying to get you to overcome, right? This, it's funny because now we have the Escapist, but the original word that I was using with the Eight of Cups is avoidance. You're avoiding something. And now we've got the Escapist, which is essentially talking about the exact same thing. And it's almost like, it's almost like it's a refuge for you, right? It's like that shell that you're putting yourself in. It's an escapist behavior that you are manifesting whenever you see the limits, whenever you see the fear, the difficulties, or any kind of sorrow, right? Or maybe that's too sad, or maybe that's too, overwhelming. Immediately you tap into the escapist archetype. And so it's important for you to realize that you're doing that, and stop, right? Step into your fear so that you can manifest true greatness for yourself. All right, so that is what I'm seeing here. Group number 2, I hope you enjoyed the reading. Just a quick reminder, I am offering private readings at this time. So if you're interested, you will have to go through my Etsy store. The link is going to be in the description below. If you go through the Etsy store, you can ask as many questions as you like, depending on the package that you pick. If you have any questions, let me know through Etsy or through YouTube, whatever's best for you. Also, let me know what you thought about this reading in the comments section below. Seekers, thank you so much for your love. Thank you for your support. I hope you enjoyed this reading. And I just want to wish you all a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful 2022 once again. And bye-bye. Welcome, group number 3, to today's Pick a Card Tarot reading. Now, the title of today's reading is A Message from Your Future Self. Now, before we get started, I just want to remind you, seekers, that I am offering private readings at this time. I'm extending the 60% winter special, so if you're interested in a private reading with me, the link is going to be in the description below. It is an Etsy link, so you will have to go through my Etsy store to place your orders. And I am extending the discount for winter. So, all right, let's go ahead and get started. You picked a beautiful door. I think that this is probably the door that I would have picked because it is truly, truly magnificent. Let's peek behind this door and see what the message is. A stranger's grace. Ego fears the sudden danger, but never underestimate the kindness of a loving stranger. Interesting. All right. And then the second oracle card is going to be from the Moonology Manifestation Oracle deck. And the message is from last quarter moon in Cancer. Take a breather. Okay. Wow. Beautiful, beautiful cards. All right. So let's sit with these two cards for a little bit, and then we're going to throw some more oracles, and then we're going to move on to tarot. But, when I look at these two cards, immediately what I am seeing is you receiving help from some kind of outside source. So there's definitely an energy of exhaustion going on here for some of you. I think that some of you have been going through the same problems. This can be in your career, this can be in your finances, it could be in your love life, it could be in your relationships with your family members. There is definitely something that's got you worried. There's something that you want to maybe get in front of. You want to try and change the outcome and will it your way, but unfortunately, it's not happening that way. And I think that you are going to be receiving help from an outside source, a friend, a stranger. And the fact that you are watching this and this message is coming up, I feel that you're going to reject that help. Okay? And your higher self, your future self is telling you, don't reject that help. Don't do it. Because it's going to get a little harder for you down the line. You need a breather. You need the help. So go ahead and take it. And so we see that here with the take a breather card. Just do it, right? And it's a beautiful representation of just being free, right? You see here a woman who is essentially just with open arms. She is free, she is complete, she is whole. And there's a sense of liberty, right, to everything that she is doing with her movements. And, there's a true sense of giving completely and surrendering to something more. And I feel that your future self wants to make sure that you are in the right state of mind when you're making decisions. Put that ego aside, okay? Take that help. So that is message number 1. Now let's go ahead and throw some more oracle cards and see what else your future self wants to reveal to you. We're going to start with the Unshakable Inner Peace oracle cards. So let's go ahead and shuffle and throw one card. Group number 1 got this exact same card. My goodness. So if you were drawn to group number 1, then watch it because it came out. And it's interesting. This is a message from your future self reminding you of who you are. You are the joy seeker, says your future self. What little victories can you celebrate is the question that your future self has for you, right? What little victories can you celebrate? So it almost feels like the fact that, the ego was revealed here, right? Ego fears a sudden danger, but never underestimate the kindness, right, of a loving stranger. That's the original message. And so I feel that you're being asked to tap into that energy of true joy again. For some reason, a lot of you have gone away from it, and now maybe potentially there's an energy of sadness. There's an energy of depression even. There's an energy of you're just depleted. There's depletion here. We see it with this card. There's a reminder for you to essentially bring that joy again, right? To seek it, right? And also potentially to celebrate the small victories. I think that a lot of you are overachievers. A lot of the people watching this group, you're overachievers. You want to achieve, you want to be victorious in most everything. And sometimes whenever you are victorious in the small things, you don't look back and say, man, that was a victory. That was definitely noteworthy. Let me go ahead and reward myself, right? You just don't do that. You keep moving forward, potentially because you're viewing those small victories as insignificant on your path to greatness, right? So it's important for you to take a breather, acknowledge how far you've come. That's going to do wonders for your state of mind. It's going to do wonders. And it's going to help you to open up, right? To put those arms into the air and just be as open as you possibly can be to life's beautiful experiences. And it's also going to help you appreciate the smaller things in life. Sometimes when we have too much, especially now in this technology age, we're so enticed by things that potentially really don't mean much. Everything is just so much more important now, right? Because everything is out in the open. And so it can become a bit of an obsession. And I feel like it's robbing your joy in some ways. This technology is taking your joy away. And I feel that the more that you want to give to it, the more that you desire this, or that you want for something to happen, the more upset you might become. So it's important for you to take that breather, seek that joy, and be thankful for the small victories as you move forward on your quest. All right, so we're going to go ahead and throw another oracle card. This one is from the Self-Care Wisdom Cards by Cheryl Richardson. So we're going to shuffle and surrender these messages. All right, so now we have the card of surrender. And the message from surrender is stop trying to control life. It gets in the way of divine intervention. Wow. Group number 3, your future self is pummeling you right now. Your future self is just, my goodness, they are really going in hard with this message, right? So clear as day. Stop trying to control life. It gets in the way of divine intervention. We have a clear message from your door, right? Ego fears sudden danger, right? So there's a sense here of wanting to control a situation, wanting for things to be a certain way, and not allowing for experiences to happen, not allowing for that intervention, that divine intervention to take place in your life. Because you want something to happen so badly. You want this thing to work out, but you know what? Maybe you're wrong, okay? Maybe you're wrong about that person. Maybe you're wrong about that job. Maybe you're wrong about those people. Maybe, just maybe, there's something better out there for you that you're not seeing right now and that your future self wants for you to kind of tap into. So some very nice advice here, right? Very good advice. And again, a reminder of who you are. You are the joy seeker. Okay, so keep that in mind. All right, we're going to throw some tarot. And we're going to try and gain some understanding directly from the tarot. We're going to use my oldest tarot deck. Oldest, as you can see, it's turning yellow already of how old it is. But this is the tarot deck that I learned tarot through. The symbolism is amazing. It is by Kim Huggins. And she is truly a phenomenal writer and creator. So let's go ahead and take a look and see what your future self wants to reveal to you. So let's reveal the situation in hand. What is the situation that we need to talk about? Wow. So, group number 3. It's your future self wants to completely and utterly destroy the foundation that you have built and create a new one. Okay? And that sounds pretty drastic, but follow me. So the 4 of Pentacles here, it's the card of foundations. This is the card of a firm foundation. This is the card essentially that says, from here we will build. From here we will have more success, right? So you need this foundation for everything that comes after. If you don't have it, then the structure falls. It decays. You can't live in it, right? So the fact that you've got it as a situation to talk about tells me that it's important to work on something at this moment in time. And what is that thing? Well, you've got the Devil card, all right? And this is definitely the card of ensnarements. It's the card of attachments. It's the card of, my goodness. What else? What can we say about this card? There's definitely an addiction potentially for some of you that has taken hold on you. You are addicted to something. Potentially, it could be drugs, or it could be alcohol. It could be a person. It could be a situation, something that you are escaping. Maybe you just can't stop working. You can't stop worrying, right? There is an ensnarement that, unfortunately, it has overtaken you, and it's not good for your foundation. It's not good. It's almost like your future self is telling you that you are kind of maybe potentially sabotaging yourself if you continue to be under the energy of the devil. So, examination. What exactly are you so maybe even obsessed over? It almost feels like there might be an obsession here going on with some of you that you have to let go of, right? This obsession might lead you to sacrifice everything. And when I mean everything, I mean literally everything, your entire life. We see that representation here with the Four of Pentacles, right? When I mean foundation, I mean everything that's holding you up, right? That's keeping you here. So I think that for the situation here is that it's important for you to just walk away from whatever this ensnarement is. Whatever this addictive thing, addiction can come in many forms, it can even be food, right? It can be an eating disorder. There's definitely certain things that need to happen. The reason I say eating disorder is because with the Four of Pentacles, we can also be talking about the body. That is definitely something that the Four of Pentacles represent, right? So the body can also suffer from this. So make sure that you are putting things into your body that's actually beneficial for you. Because it seems like whatever addiction this is, it's actually kind of leading to some worse issues down the road. So just be wary of that. We go right back to what the oracle cards are telling us, right? We go right back to the help that you're going to receive from a stranger. So that help, I feel, might be financial in nature. That help might be in your career, or it could even be emotional help. But just understand that help is coming. Accept the help. Maybe that help is coming to help you out of this situation with this devil energy here showing up, ensnarements and addictions. If that's the case, then you must pursue that help, because it's going to be very beneficial for you. All right, so let's throw some more tarot. By the way, the windows are open, so if there's any background noises, just know that the windows are open, just letting in that fresh air. All right, so let's see. Wow. No, those cards just literally exploded out. My goodness. Wow. So we're going to leave these cards. Yeah, your future self has a lot more to talk about. So I was just going to do 2 more cards, but it's not going to be enough. We need to do a full-on examination here. All right. So what's going on? What's going on here? 1 more card. Help me tie all of this together. Okay. All right. So your future self wants for you to be successful financially. Okay, that's the focus here. And also when it comes to your body, when it comes to just finding the right balance in all areas, that's the focus here. And it almost feels like if you aren't able to kind of deal, then a lot of these other things are going to come into existence, right? So we start with the energy of the 5 of Cups. I feel like maybe this is the energy that might be present if you're unable to let go of that devil energy with the 5 of Cups. There's a sense of, emotional dread, emotional insecurity. If you're going through this, just know one thing, that it's all going to only make you stronger. Okay, it's going to allow for you to reach the Queen of Pentacles. So whatever emotional problems you're going through, whatever issues, and I do see them here, I feel that a lot of you are going through this, right? This sadness, this depression. And that sadness and that depression might leave you dependent on something. because you're looking and seeking for that comfort. But it's important for you to understand that that's what's going on. That's the trigger, that emotional instability, right? And so, the Queen of Pentacles is what you want to reach. Queen of Pentacles has been following me around this entire reading. I think it came out in group 1 as well. The Queen of Pentacles is where you want to go. This is, I believe, a representation of Shiva. She is a beautiful goddess, a very powerful goddess. We see her holding a baby. She is what brings life. She is the keeper, the holder of that life. We see her, in the other hand, her manifesting gold. There's a sense of true value. And that value is present in all areas of her life. Now, one thing to keep in mind, with that Queen of Pentacles, she's holding a lotus flower in her hand. The lotus flower is born out of the most horrific conditions, right? The lotus flower comes out from a swamp, all right? Nasty, stinky swamp. And that lotus flower is able to just bloom into the most beautiful of flowers. And so we're seeing that swamp-like energy here, that horrifying darkness. We're seeing it here. I think that a lot of you are potentially going through this right now. Your future self wants to help you come out of this situation. There's challenges, there's mental challenges, there's emotional challenges. We see the mental side of it with the Five of Swords. We see that struggle of the Five of Swords. Here it's almost like you're being attacked by people. You're feeling attacked by some, even though they're really not attacking you. You're attacking yourself. And so, in some ways, there's all these things going on, right? Internally, there's struggle, there's battle, there's emotional distress. And so you're also experiencing that externally, because that's what you are experiencing inside. So outside, things are essentially vibrating in your frequency, and they're meeting you at your same level. So I think that if you are going through any struggle, if you're going through any problems at this moment in time, it's because of your emotional state and your mental state. And so it's very difficult to control this, but at least you understand why potentially some things are not going your way. Whatever you feel inside, it's what's going to be, and where you're going to exist, and where you're going to walk outside, externally. So we see that showing up, right? We see that message here with the Four of Pentacles. We see the message again with the Two of Pentacles. These two cards talk about the foundations for life, the balance, the rhythmic balance of life, and just standing firm. So the Two of Pentacles, we have a representation of someone who, even though the waters are tough, right, there's no way that she's going to lose that balance. She's always going to remain in that place. No one is going to be able to knock her from that place, because she's earned her spot there. And so she shows us what her secret is. And what we see here is a symbol of eternity, right? Eternal peace, eternal prosperity, an eternal understanding of life. And, I think that a lot of us, we're overcome with fear of death, right? Fear of it all coming to an end, fear of the unknown, fear of the pain that we've seen. Some of us have lost people that we care about deeply, and that is very upsetting. And so what it does ultimately, when something like that so painful happens, is that it destroys our foundation, and we have to start over again. We have to rebuild it, right? And so you have to decide, are you going to rebuild on this side of the aisle, where we have the Four of Pentacles, the Two of Pentacles, and the Queen of Pentacles upright, which is a representation of just proper foundations, the proper flow of energy in the right place? Do you want to go that route, or are you going to completely give in to the darkness that we have on this side, which is the Five of Cups, dread, emotional distress, Five of Swords, mental distress, ultimately leading to ensnarements, dependency, abusing substances, so be very careful with this, right? And understand what the triggers are, so that you can avoid that kind of response to that trigger. All right, so we're going to go ahead and throw just one card, and it's going to be from the archetype cards. We're just going to see if we can get some more direct messages from your future self. And we got it. The archetype showing up is the Witch. All right, this is the first time I pull the Witch. And the Witch reads, "Be aware of your reputation. your influence and your power to create, preserve, or destroy. Powerful women are often misunderstood. Wow. Now that is a very powerful message, okay? Very powerful message, the witch. So that is what I see here. I want to thank you, seekers, for watching. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Don't forget, I am offering private readings at this time. If you're interested, you will have to go to my Etsy store. The link is going to be in the description below. I am extending the discount, the winter discount, so take advantage of that. Again, it will have to be through my Etsy store. Thank you, seekers, for your love. Thank you for your beautiful words of support. I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful day or night, wherever you are. And bye-bye.